The city holds its breath. Rumors echo through apartment walls and corridors. People gather around television sets, waiting for a sign that might change everything. Soldiers at the checkpoint trade brief glances between duty and doubt. Somewhere in the static of the evening news, a word slips. Open. No one knows exactly what it means, but everyone feels it. The crowd begins to form, drawn by whispers stronger than orders. Floodlights cut the fog, revealing faces full of question and hope. The wall, once an unquestioned certainty, now trembles under the weight of rumor. On both sides, hearts beat in sync, east and west, breathing the same uncertainty for the first time in decades. The night grows dense with expectation. Cars stop mid-street, and people emerge into the cold, listening. From the towers, the guards' eyes wander. From the sidewalks, voices rise like distant waves. No one gives an order, yet the movement begins. Quiet, collective, unstoppable. Time slows between decision and action. The checkpoint becomes an arena of hesitation. A few advance, others hold back. The metal gate moans under the pressure of bodies and history. On the faces of the guards, fear and fatigue blend into the same silence. Then it happens. One soldier lifts the latch, uncertainly, as if testing a possibility. The gate opens a few inches, enough for hope to pass through. The first people cross with hesitant steps. Behind them, a murmur grows into a roar. What was once forbidden now becomes destiny. No one commands anymore. The night itself gives permission. Every new step through the gate erases a piece of the wall's purpose. On the western side, arms open. On the eastern side, tears turn to laughter. The air changes its texture. Fear begins to dissolve. News spreads faster than radio waves. Whole families run to the checkpoint, carrying bags, coats, and disbelief. Soldiers remain at their posts, but the crowd is no longer a threat. It is a tide. Each face reflects the same thought. If they can cross, so can we. cameras flash, capturing history in real time. The sound of boots is replaced by that of footsteps. The wall still stands, but its authority has vanished. The night no longer belongs to the state, it belongs to the people. Bornholmer Strasse, the first fracture. Here, the tension becomes movement. The crowd pushes, the guards hesitate, and no one fires. Orders blur, replaced by instinct. What begins as a breach becomes an open door, and through it, a century crosses. It's no longer just a passage, it's a pilgrimage. People arrive from every district, from factories and flats, from silence and hope. Faces pressed together in disbelief, united by a single rhythm, the desire to breathe freely. The gate holds, and the wall starts to fade, not from impact, but from meaning. The gate swings like a pendulum, closing to keep form, opening to keep peace. From windows, East Berliners lean out, searching for proof that freedom has truly begun. Children learn the sound of a border forgetting how to say no. The concrete watches and yields. What was once the exception becomes routine within minutes. The queues move in rhythm. The guards no longer resist, but regulate. On the western side, the streets widen into embraces. Between each stamp and gesture, decades crumble like dust. Time races, yet the night expands to welcome more footsteps. Control becomes fluidity. The gate no longer separates, it organizes. In the west, hands offer warmth and space. In the east, feet long trained to halt learn to move forward. The gate no longer contains, it conducts. The night, once divided, now breathes as one. Each step that crosses carries a year within it. The concrete loses territory, and the city regains its pulse. Around them, cameras record, but the truth is written in the footsteps, not the film. The opening is no longer a gesture. It becomes a system born of instinct. The gate learns the people's pace, and the clerks stamp as fast as they can. On one side, cones and tape create new order. On the other, windows empty as streets fill with memory. The wall still stands, but its purpose is gone. The checkpoint grows beyond its own design. Procedures are invented in real time, handwritten in the air. The tower watches, but no longer commands. The street dictates the rhythm. The west extends its welcome. The east advances in waves. One by one, hundreds become a bridge. Control becomes care. The gate stops counting bodies and begins counting reunions. The west opens streets. The east flows into them. Between stamps and hand signals, the city rebuilds itself in real time. The wall doesn't fall. It quietly ceases to exist. The unthinkable turns ordinary. The tower records. The street decides. In the west, holes appear in the wall. In the east, crossings multiply. History doesn't shout. It breathes, deep and certain. The night finally redraws its map. Where there was a line, there's movement. Where there was a wall, doors begin to bloom. Watchfulness becomes care. The cold remains, but the air feels lighter. Berlin remembers how to be one. Hours pass, but no one wants to go home. The whole city has forgotten what sleep feels like. Guards, civilians, journalists, all share the same breath. The gate, born from authority, now follows the will of the crowd. The wall still echoes with fear, but that echo is fading fast. There's no longer a count to the crossings. Parents find children. Lovers embrace. Strangers smile. The city breathes as if it had never been divided. Guards and civilians share the same ground. And the wall, at last, learns to be memory. The wall still exists, in fragments, in memories, in scars. but the city is whole again. The lights of Berlin cross the concrete freely, and the cold of morning feels lighter than the night before. On November 9, 1989, the world learned that no wall lasts forever, and no frontier stands against the will to be free.